Oh, lordy. So excited about getting going there. I completely forgot to mic up. Let's see. Done. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Wow. I'm such an idiot. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Just gonna hit that down a hair. Okay. Yeah, this right here is the good stuff. And okay, yep. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jamie. Pronouns she, her. The channel is pronounced Ray, me, Bonsai. And today we are here just to mess around with some trees, have some fun, find the beauty in plants. Now, I have this tree set up so that you guys have a good view of it. Me, not so much. So forgive me as we go along through here. This one I've done a little bit of trimming on so far, but there's a lot more shoot selection that needs to be done. And then I'm gonna get this fellow wired up. Got my scissors. And starting with my lower branches, I'm looking for any shoots that look like they're coming off the underside of the branch. It is a really cold, snowy day here in Colorado. So I've been doing anything and everything I can to avoid having to go out in that nonsense. I'm from the South. I don't know how to drive in the snow. I remember one year it actually snowed on Christmas Eve, and I thought the world was going to end. I've been in Colorado a few years now, so it's not as bad. But frankly, it still freaks me out on a very visceral level. It could storm on me all day and I don't care, but snow, for some reason or another, just gets me. Nope, that's in my apex. I'll just go for that all willy-nilly. Here. Another dead shoot. That fud's coming from under the branch. Same as this one. And that one. That's a dead tip. That's a dead tip. Okay. I'm actually not thinking there's too much wiring or cutting to do. So I might just get started wiring. I think that sounds pretty fun right about now. I don't want to rush it though. Um, I really want to get this tree cleaned and polished. And I think that means doing as much as I can now. So, anywhere I have 2 shoots coming out, that's great. When I have 3 though, 9 times out of 10, it's that center shoot that I'm getting rid of, so that the other 2 go off at a bit of an angle and it's not so straight to the eye. Occasionally, I'll decide not to. That usually comes down to how vigorous one or both of the outside branches are. Because if it looks like it would just significantly weaken the branch, there's no reason to make that cut. That's one of those things you just gotta develop a feel for. Plays a pretty crucial role in getting things to kind of separate as we go along here. We want maybe not juniper level separated defined paths, but we definitely want some air to get through and for it to feel like everything's not so on top of itself. Really, I want to be at least a little frugal with the cuts I'm making. Because ultimately, the more foliage this tree has, the quicker it's going to recover from all of this. That view. Okay, this way's the front. So my front is here. I'm looking at a curve where I've got 3 branches all emerging in one spot and just trying to think through which one goes, or which 2 go. You know what? Obviously, it's the middle one. We were just talking about this. 9 times out of 10, it's the middle one. I just wanted to be sure. Okay. I'm gonna turn this so I can get a good view. So now that I've gotten out the downward growing growth, I'm starting to think about shortening branches so that they become more compact as we move more towards the crown. But I'm also thinking about the way branches are emerging from the trunk. Ideally, we don't want branches that are going to be on the inside of a curve, like this one here. So maybe this one goes and gets filled in with this one up here, this here, just because ultimately it's going to lead to an unbalanced tree, and especially because I do have a branch where I want it on the outside of this same curve, it can cause some inverse taper if we allow this to grow for too long. So I'm just going to get that out of here. Okay. So we have this back branch here. That's coming out on the outside of a curve, so I really like that. I'm going to leave that one untouched. But moving up here, things get really congested. There's 4 branches emerging in about 1.5 inches off of the trunk. And I want to make sure you'll have the best view you can of this. So I'm going to start at the low point of this congestion and use that to kind of work in a counterclockwise fashion, spiraling about the tree. This goes here to here, so in my head, that's the start of this counterclockwise trend, which means definitely keeping this first one, which means the one right above it has to go. Continuing on counterclockwise, we reach this branch. Continuing on, we hit here. Right at the same height, we have this one. So maybe this goes. Ooh, but that is the outside of a curve. So I'm gonna get rid of the one over here on the inside. Okay, so outside of curve, continuing counterclockwise, we have here, 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 and then back this way. So the branch placement's actually looking pretty good to me, at least from here, until we hit the apex. The apex feels like there's plenty of room to clean it up and I don't know. It just needs to breathe a lot more. It's out of balance with the rest of this tree. Okay. So we have the outside here. That can definitely go. That one goes. Shorten that. That looks good. So maybe shorten this shoot. Shorten that shoot. Shorten. Now I'm going to spin this sucker around so that I can see what's going on a little bit better. Fortunately, you guys don't always get the front. Okay. Shoot. And at my apex, in some spots here, it's just really crowded. I'm just making some knee-jerk decisions on what needs to go based off of length. You know, I think that was actually pretty solid go of it. Yeah, that's great. So, now that we've got this bad boy all thinned up, I'm gonna see if I can grab some wire and get going. So, you know, my partner and I have decided we're gonna get married next year. Very exciting. One of our favorite bands is doing a final show, so it just seemed like the perfect excuse for us to make it happen. And I'm just grabbing some. What is this? 2 gauge aluminum. Yeah, one of our favorite bands is doing final tour, so we've decided we're gonna go check it out. And it's the perfect excuse to get married, which I think is pretty exciting. This isn't the sort of thing I thought we were capable of doing as a couple, if that tracks. But that means there's sort of a pressure on right now to make sure we can afford it, because neither of us are actually doing particularly like we're not well off, you know. I work in Bonsai, which I absolutely love, but it doesn't pay the bills. So I've started taking on more independent tasks, and I'm excited to say that I have my first class booked. It'll be a one-on-one consult or one-on-one class with somebody, and I'm just so stoked about it. And I think that's really going to be the first step in making sure that we get this wedding we deserve. I hate to say it, but I tried Uber Eatsing the other day. I was on a wait list for forever, and I kind of came home crying last night because I had spent just the whole day out there driving around, and the pay it worked out to was so horribly low. Like, I think it was less than $9 an hour for driving around in the snow and going ridiculous distances, and it really got to me. I don't think that's gonna be the way to make sure we get this wedding we deserve. But that's okay. I already kind of figured that my path to prosperity lies in trees. So I'm not too surprised at how things are going. My partner works with kids. They absolutely love it. I think more power to them because I can tolerate other people's kids. Definitely don't want to be around them any more than I have to. A part of that is just like, I grew up on boats. My dad was a sailor. So there's a certain level of, I'm going to say, polite conversation that I am just incapable of. Just want to check in with you guys, show you the way that I married these two branches to each other. Started at the lower branch, did a turn and a half out to secure it, and then worked my way up the trunk into the next branch. Now, I did not fully wire either branch. I'm more focused on structure at the moment. So I think ultimately with this being a ficus, by the time springtime rolls around, this wire will definitely be off. And really it's just the structure I'm trying to get in. I don't want to do any fine wiring on this, partially just because I don't want to justify using copper. It seems like a real bit of overkill, especially considering the price difference between copper and aluminum. Turning this back to me. Now, one thing I'm trying to be mindful of is when I'm doing my horseshoes, I want to start at the back of the tree, just so that it's a little more discreet, I think is the word to use. Like, we don't want the wire up front in our face if it can be avoided. It's best to have it start and end opposite of the intended viewing angle. This wire is pretty heavy for this branch, so I'm trying to be very loose and careful with my placement. Because this is a subtropical, it's never really going to stop growing, which means I should probably be extra careful when I'm checking for wire bite. I think I'm going to expect to see it tips at this branch before I see it elsewhere. Well, that's why we gotta be extra careful. Project. And and shorten. Continuing on. Now, one thing I'm doing here is I'm trying to be mindful of not needing to wire up every little thing. So when I'm looking at places where my branch forks off, I'm trying to look at and assess, okay, if I move this left one, can I move the whole branch where I need it versus needing to wire the two to each other? Because in theory it's doable. It isn't always, but it's one of those things that I think I need to get better at practicing. I know I can have a tendency to overwire, especially when copper is involved. Now that I've been working in bonsai a while, being more frugal and conservative with some of these design choices is part of what I'm working on. Now, so. You have no rep coming out that far. Where are we shortening you? What happens if I snip here? Sorry, I know that you just started growing that berry, but we don't want to get it out of here. Nope. Also nope. Getting a little more true gauge. Taking long, taking long, all for the long. Dance. Okay, so I want to go this way. Underneath. One turn. And a half. Underneath. into that shoulder, using my support hand to press the wire into the branch as I'm guiding the wire. Okay, that's good and secure. I'm trying to be careful because these are getting pretty thin. Keep that way. Shorten, and where possible, I'm trying to make sure that I'm cutting my wire so that cut is on the outside or the backside of the coil, away from the viewer. It's one of those things that just it helps it to look a little neater, classier. It's good. I want a little more movement here. I think because of that, we gotta do that. You come up too far. Okay. Okay. Now we're marrying you to you. Two gauge. My pieces are definitely getting shorter as we work our way up the tree. That is right. Back, thinking about, okay, how do I do this? Around through the shoots. We're going up and over. Drop you down, you down. You can that way more. Hmm? My mic not on? Is she dying and I missed it? Okay, I hope that's a little bit better. This mic is definitely alive. Oh wow, look at that. I bet you it was dead this entire time. I'm just gonna lower that, see where my voice is. That looks beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, coming back. Beautiful. Round. Turn into half there. And go for this shoot. Let's see. What happens there? I'm just gonna call that the nicest pad on this tree. It just has so much better ramification than the rest of it. Okay. Snippy. Snippy. Yeah. Okay. And I think I know where my final piece of 2mm is going. I don't have anything smaller in aluminum, so this will be the last piece of wire. Um, but I can see how it needs to be attached. After this, I'm gonna work on a little Chilcari Afra, and then we can call it a day. I appreciate you guys hanging out and working on some trees with me today. I turn into half. Up. And over. very carefully thread this through. That's just gotta go. There's just no way around it. Okay, really happy with how that one ended up. And honestly, that was the hard part. There's really only one option for this back branch, in my opinion. Okay, what do we think? It's nice and open. Got some good movement to it. Yeah, I'm gonna just go set this aside and grab me a cute little Piapra. The question is, which cute little Piapra? So, oh wait, no, I'm doing Schefflera. Oh boy! I know exactly what I'm gonna do with the Schefflera. Look at this cutie. I mean, just look at it. This has got some fun movement to it. This is another one that was propagated by Harold Sasaki. Hold a tick. I just realized what I should be doing. I'll be right back, YouTube. Not that anybody's here, but I'll be back. See, let's see. By the sea. Oh no. I like to think that somebody is finally found out and wondering what on earth all these monkeys are. I know it's not the case though. This is all for my own amusement. Please, I know. For a fact. Yes. There you are. Oh, there's that. Now, pardon me. Now I just need to find my phone. I'll be right back, YouTube. Here you, kitty. Look at you. Okay. Oh no. Um. Oh no. Like left. No. I'm just spiraling. How does TikTok Live work? I really don't know. Gaming incentives, account, artist hub, touch, no, open plus. no. I... Wow, I thought it would be so much easier to just... Okay, I'm done messing with TikTok. I clearly don't know how that nonsense works. Please forgive me, YouTube. I know nobody was really here with me, but I promise I'll get out that nonsense in a bit. Okay, so Schefflera does want to die back a little bit. So when I'm making cuts, I'm not going right up against it like I would on the ficus. I don't want to go too far away though. It'll just take forever to dry out enough to go through and really fully remove it. Just shortening a couple spots though. I'm actually pretty excited because in my mind it's very easy to see what to do with this tree. Gonna marry here, there. Okay. Let us see. What is this? This is way too, right? Okay, maybe not way too big. Probably need geoso 4.5. That much. There. Okay. Ooh. Now the other side is it's just a factor light. So come in. Now Schefflera is gonna be pretty willing to snap on us. So let's keep that in mind as we're going along here. Don't want to force any bends past a point where they're safe. But got my turn and a half on them both. I'm gonna set the movement on this secondary trunk. I'm moving it as I'm applying wire. Trying to think about keeping that movement. I dynamic and three-dimensional. Especially, Schefflera has a tendency to grow pretty rigidly. And I think it really benefits from whatever movement we're able to instill. I want to call attention to the fact that I was not going through and removing before applying wire like I would on, for instance, a ficus. Part of that is because Schefflera has leaflets, not true leaves, so as these little bundles of leaves go out, any of them could be selected to kind of wood up, and then these little shoots would grow little leaflets of their own off the tip. That means they're pretty easy to pop off, but they're also pretty pliable, and I want to see where and how things end up before I go through and remove stuff. Just because something is up top now doesn't mean it will stay that way. All that work just to straighten you out. So this way. Can we kick you down at all? Yeah, we can. Look at that. That's that. Come back through. Good contact. Then, now that I've got to this branch, I'm going to come down into the armpit, get really good contact, circle back up, go through almost a complete turn of that coil, and then I'm going to pop out my 45 degrees and keep working my way out. Turning to the front now, so I really want to look at this. Determining how that branch goes. Beautiful. Actually makes a really solid back branch. Just gonna let you guys in on the big secret. Just like that. Let's see, what's that? Oh no. I'm not sure which is my 4.5. It's okay. That's not long enough. Not at all. It really looked like it would be. Dang. Usually I have the opposite problem. it's having too much. A little disappointed in myself. Into that crotch. 1 revolution and a half. Then up the trunk. Fully wire the trunk up before going back to this branch. This leaflet looks like it wants to pop off anyways. It's out of here. I was just untangling the foliage. So one of the things that you just kind of get used to doing as part of wiring. But the way you go about it is a little different between species. If that makes any sense at all. Alright. Have it back. Back. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a quick check-in. I think that's a gorgeous silhouette, but I'm gonna come through and just clean it up a hair. I haven't seen too good from y'all's point of view how this secondary trunk and this back branch kind of keep together. I think something in here needs to be adjusted. Probably this, bring it more this way. And then let's check out the silhouette again. Set forward. boarding. Should not have just put my hands in the side like that. You know, it's just a little lost in the sauce, huh? Hmm. I like it better initially. Quit messing with it. And remove this ridiculously long leaflet. I bet you, oh yeah, this one has started turning into a branch. There's a definite texture difference on this one versus these others. See if we can get you guys a good view. So the one that's turning a little woody almost looks a little like sunken in, the way your fingers get after a long bath, versus just looking kind of like a regular stem, if that tracks. Okay, anyways, now that we have the wire on, I'm just gonna come through, select out some damaged foliage, see if there are any shoots that maybe aren't wanted. Go from there. Now, Schefflera doesn't quite root the same way as a ficus would, so I'm too worried about trying to propagate any of this stuff that gets cut off. I'm more looking at what shoots would be a problem if they were left long term versus adding good paper if they're allowed to develop. So I'm not going too heavy, just doing really some housekeeping, looking for anything throwing out in the wrong spot or that looks like it's going to cause reverse taper. Inverse taper? Yeah. Sorry, you're just in the wrong spot, pal. Yeah, okay. Here we are. One Schefflera Arboricola. I'm pretty happy with how this one looks. Catch you guys around.